Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
We really appreciate you spending some time with us before we kick off this weekend at Martinsville Speedway. And as we kind of give our media a little bit of time to pull for questions, do you mind to give us just a little bit of overview of how your team is preparing for this final playoff round before Phoenix this weekend?
Yeah, we're in a tough situation. You know, we had a really great car at Kansas, contending for the win there, and just ended up getting in a crash and put us in a bad spot. So now we know we have to win to get into the championship four, which we believe we're capable of. We've shown we're capable of it at Martinsville in particular. We won this race last year there. So just time to go get after it, have at it. It's going to be fun. These are the situations that, there's no great comeback without a setback at first. And, I've got a great group of guys around me, great leadership. Jason Ratcliffe has been in this situation before, having to win at Phoenix to have a chance for a championship, and him and Christopher got it done. So I don't see why me and him can't get it done either.
All right. And now we'll poll for questions. If you have questions for Harrison, go ahead and raise your hand and let me know, and we will get to as many questions as we can. All right. Who would like to kick us off with a question? All right, here we go. Bob, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, Harrison, so do you enter this race kind of ticked off and hacked off and kind of the way this round has gone, or do you have to put kind of emotions aside, considering it's Martinsville?
Yeah, a little bit, right? I'm a little bit frustrated. Kansas was frustrating in particular because I like to be able to look back and get better from what I could have done differently to avoid that situation. And it's kind of a hard thing to say other than get by those guys faster, right? So that's the frustrating thing for me, I guess, is without having something to work on and something that, we could have done this better in this exact moment, to not have this happen. It's kind of frustrating, right? Because you don't know what you could have done, and it's kind of a racing deal, but that racing deal has kind of put us in a really bad spot now. So, some of that is good. You use that for motivation, you use that for fuel to prepare throughout the week, to work out hard, all that stuff. And then, once the race comes, it's just any other race. Everyone has the same goals every weekend, is to win. So we can't go out and try and reinvent the wheel for our last chance here at getting into the championship four. But on the other hand, we have to use that frustration in a positive way.
And would you expect that your strategy will pretty much be do what the others don't, unless you feel like you have a dominant car, winning car, if there's 10 to go and everybody pits, you stay out. If everybody stays out, you pit.
I don't know. Like you said, it's very situation dependent. If we're out there leading a bunch of laps, then we kind of have to make the decision. And the guys that are in our similar spot, like the 9, the 19, people like that, will probably end up doing what we don't do, right? And so it always comes down to where you're running, what you have to risk. If you're in the top 3 at Martinsville, it's not crazy to think if the caution comes out that you can win from there, or really top 5. A lot of things can happen there in a hurry, as we all know. So that's why I'm so happy. Man, I'm not on the box. I don't have to make those decisions. I leave it to Jason and my engineer Dustin to make those calls, and from there I just drive the best I can. But knowing the strategy is important. I expect us to be really aggressive. I haven't really sat down and talked to Jason about what he's thinking strategy wise yet. But most of what I would expect would be, stage points for us don't matter, right? So what does winning a stage mean to us? And nothing really. So it's all about the last lap, and whatever we can do to position ourselves to win, that's what we'll do.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question will come from Zach Albert. Go ahead, Zach.
Thanks, Amanda. Well, my question was going to be kind of along Bob's line of going off script there, but coming into Martinsville, does it make you give you some confidence that this is a place where you have run well and where you guys have won before?
Yeah, it does. You can't rest on that though. That's something I've learned over time. Is, man, if you get lazy and complacent in this sport and think, oh, we run fast here, we're just going to run fast anyway, then you're going to be in trouble in a hurry. So, it does give you confidence, but you can't rest on that confidence. You have to be aggressive in your preparation. You have to be, willing to try new things, get better, especially because the race that we won, it was the first race Xfinity was back in quite some time. And our team did an amazing job of getting right up to speed fast. I have experience at Martinsville, so that helps quite a bit. And we were able to have a dominant car, but everyone else has gotten significantly better. And even if you look at the speed traces throughout that specific race, everyone got better. Everyone closed the gap to us throughout that race and got closer to as fast as we were, especially looking at the 7 car. So, there's progression in the sport that's going on. There's a lot of things like that you have to kind of keep up with. And it's hard when you are the guy that won the first race, not to, rest easy on that. But we can't do that. We have to be aggressive and try and go win.
And I know there's still business to take care of this year in the Xfinity Series, but how far along are you in looking ahead to what's coming next year in the Cup?
Not very. It's all Xfinity right now, and that's fine. I think the more I focus on Xfinity, the better off I'll be next year. The best I can do as an Xfinity driver is just going to help, me next year against the Cup guys. It's going to be a jump. It's going to be a tough road ahead, and that's why I'm excited about it. It's going to be the biggest challenge of my life. I've watched my family members all go through it. Even Jeb went to Cup for a little bit, and in a not the best situation, obviously, but understanding the level of competition is important. And so, yeah, I'm well aware that it's going to be a challenge, and I'm ready for that challenge. I think, my work ethic will help me throughout the off season, especially with the new car to kind of get going at the right time. And we'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun once I get into it. But for now, I'm still just in the Xfinity Series and focusing on that, which is great. I owe that to, Coach and the people at Toyota. They need 100% out of me for what they've given me. They've given me a chance to do what I love. So I got to go get it and try and win them a championship.
Right on. Thank you.
Okay. Our next question is going to go to Jim Utter. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Harrison. It's kind of a follow-up to what Zach was asking you. I know your focus right now is on the rest of the Xfinity season, but could there be a more difficult year to transition from Xfinity to Cup, given the circumstances of having a brand new car? And if I'm correct, you haven't sat in one yet, right?
Yeah, no, I haven't driven one yet. So I don't know. I wish I could tell you that it was, harder or easier. I don't have any experience doing it before, right? So I don't know. The one thing that's the challenge for me, which also is an advantage too, right, is the unknown. The challenge is, I can't go and watch races and say, oh, this is what Denny Hamlin did in this car at this track with this weather. This is his throttle trace, looking at data. Here's what I can go try and replicate, or I can't do that with Joey or anybody like that. I've got to kind of figure it out at the racetrack. There's no data to look at. There's, the testing through the off season is going to be really important to try and get a head start on that, and get some baseline notes to kind of, base what I'm going to do as a driver off of. But other than that, man, it's all seat of the pants, which is fun. And it's exciting as a driver to come in with a chance of, no one knows what's going on exactly. No one knows exactly what these cars are going to do in traffic, anything like that. So the guy that works the hardest in the off season, the guy that is the most dedicated to this sport in the off season, is going to get rewarded, I think. And that's motivating for me and exciting for me. And it's definitely going to be a challenging year for everybody, but could be an advantage. It could be a disadvantage. I'll tell you throughout the season what I think.
Do you think, is it something to look forward to basically be on the same level playing field as a Denny Hamlin and a Kevin Harvick when you get started next season?
Yeah, it is. Obviously, those guys are still going to be the elite guys, right? They're going to be the guys you have to beat. You look at, no matter what changes we've made in our sport, there's always the same guys that run up front and run well, and the same teams that do. And I'm really fortunate to be joining a team that runs up front, has fast cars, and so if I can do my end of the job, we should be able to really succeed. So, it is exciting. The notes and everyone's going to be learning at the same time. All that is exciting. And it'll be fun to try and integrate myself into that. It's crazy to think, my teammates are going to be Joey Logano and Blaney and Cindric. Those are guys that, Joey in particular, I watched my dad race and now I'm going to be teammates with him trying to figure this out. It's going to be an awesome job. And I'm excited to go try and get into it.
And as far as you know, do you think your first time in the car will be the Charlotte Oval test?
I really don't know yet for sure, honestly, because of the way that the contract situations are. It's all very complicated and over my 21-year-old brain, right? So I'm working on confirmation for that. I'd like to get in as soon as possible, but I don't really have a great 100%. Yeah, this is exactly what we're doing yet, which is kind of strange because I want to be ready for it. I want to be preparing for it. But in all honesty, I don't really know 100% yet, which is, that's fine. I think it's almost better that way because I can just focus on being an Xfinity guy for now and not really look too far ahead.
Just as soon as possible, right?
That's what I want. As soon as and as much as possible. That's to my benefit, right? So as much as I can drive through the off season and just keeping keeping the rhythm of not really having an off season, that's going to be good for me, I think.
Thanks a lot, Harrison.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Our next question is going to come from Nathan Solomon. Go ahead, Nathan.
Thank you. Thanks for the time, Harrison. You kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but, you guys are going to be on separate strategies from the guys who are, in position to transfer on points and need the stage points. So I guess, how does it affect you, or does it help you positively or negatively in terms of race strategy?
I think it helps us positively. You look at the guys that run, not for championship points. A lot of times they're able to jump the stages. I was able to do that last year and won some races once we got eliminated because I was, we were jumping pit road spots and we were really fast. Obviously you have to have the speed, but it helps, right? You have a free track position built into every pit stop if you do it right, or if the cards fall that way. And you just have the freedom to do whatever is best for your team at the end of the race, right? It's not, oh, do we sacrifice points right now to be better off later, or do we do this or that? There's no hesitation. It's always what's going to get us the best finishing position. So that makes the job easier for Jason, I think. For me, it makes it easier if we play our cards right. We'll have track position, and keeping track position is a lot easier than getting it, in my opinion. So, I think once we get up there, we'll be really, really hard to beat. I know I'm really confident about my abilities, and especially at Martinsville, and it's going to be fun to watch. I know that much. All the varying strategies and watching guys try and point their way in versus guys that could win and maybe bump someone out of the playoffs because of their win. It's going to be entertaining for the fans to watch, and it's going to be fun for me as a driver to be put in that situation. So ready to go try and execute on it and, put this team where we belong.
And when you're in a position like you've been here the last few weeks, how much help is your dad in terms of just navigating, everything that comes with the playoffs?
Quite a bit. He's pretty hands off nowadays. But recently he's been, helping with, just making sure that my mindset is the right one and helping me along the way, trying to emotionally navigate this stuff. There's a lot going on, right? You care dearly about racing and finishing well and winning a championship and all that. It's what you work a whole year for and the whole off season for. It's all you look forward towards is, winning a championship. And so, when that's on the line in a one race scenario, you can get caught up in that too much really easily and end up making a mistake because you're too nervous or whatever it may be. So, I think he's been helpful in that case, but, as far as actually driving, he hasn't said much, which is, it's normal nowadays. But when I was 13, he was my driver coach. Now I've got so many people around me that he's able to kind of just be dad, which is fun for both of us, I think.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Harrison, that seems to be all the questions that we have. Thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. And y'all have a good week.